guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another pregnancy related video. I know my previous video was a little bit different, so we're getting back into the swing of things with pregnancy things. Today I thought it would be fun to kind of test out DIY homemade pregnancy tests that I've seen online and I've seen on Google, and a lot of people I'm sure would want to know if these work or if they're just a myth. We all know that I am actually pregnant, so testing these won't be too hard today, because if it's negative, then clearly it's a flop. And if it ends up being positive, then clearly it actually works. So I am going to be testing out 3 DIY homemade pregnancy tests with things that you have around your house today. So I have my little sticky note here because I screenshotted some stuff on my phone, but I film on my phone. So I wasn't really thinking when I did that. So I just went ahead and transferred it to a sticky note here. So we are going to be testing out 3 different household items that most everyone has in their house. If not, then it's something that you could just run and go to the grocery store and pick up really quickly. So the first test involves sugar. I just have my whole jar of sugar here. This just sits on our counter. So I have this. I'm going to get into more detail when I get to each test, but for now I'm just going to go over the items we're going to be using. So number 1 is sugar. Number 2 is a white toothpaste. This is just the Colgate Sensitive toothpaste. It's white. I'm not sure if the Sensitive is going to mess with this test, but I mean, it just said you needed a white toothpaste, so hopefully that will work. And then the last item that I have is vinegar. Now on Google it said that you were supposed to use white distilled vinegar. I only have apple cider vinegar, so I'm not too sure if that's gonna make a difference or not, but I thought I'd go ahead and give it a try. I thought it would be interesting to see what happens with that. So the first test that I'm going to do today is going to be the sugar test. So on my sticky note, it says that it calls for 3 teaspoons of sugar. And then if it dissolves, if the sugar dissolves in the urine, because you clearly have to mix all of these with your urine. That's the, you have all of these and then you mix them with your urine, and that's what gives you the positive or the negative, clearly. But, if it's negative for the sugar, then that means the sugar dissolved. But if it's positive, then it means the sugar should clump. So in this test, we want it to clump because I am pregnant. So for us to get a correct positive, it should clump. Also, all of these tests take about 5 to 10 minutes for them to kind of sit, is what it recommended for you to do. So you put the urine into the 3 items that you're going to be testing, and then it asks you to have them sit for 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of these at one time, and then we're going to let them sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll go over all of the results and see what was positive, what was negative, what worked and what didn't. I was going to do a lot more different household items, but I thought 3 would just be good for a starter video. So if you guys like this video, if it does turn out and it works well, then maybe I'll do a few more items just to get more of a variety of things you could use for a homemade pregnancy test. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on into starting the sugar test. All right, so I have paper plates here that I'm going to be using for 2 of the tests, and then I have an empty glass that I'm going to be using for the vinegar, because you'll need half a cup of this, so that's definitely not going to work out on a paper plate. I really don't know how the other 2 are going to work out on a plate with my urine on them, but we're going to make it work. So for starters, you need 3 teaspoons of this sugar. So I got my 1 teaspoon little measuring thing right here. I'm going to scoop into this sugar, get 1 teaspoon, 2, and then 3. Now for not to gross you out reasons, I'm just gonna go ahead and pour my urine onto this off camera, just because I, 1, don't want to make a mess, and 2, I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like that's not appropriate to do on camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and then when I come back, we're gonna jump into the second test, which is the toothpaste. All right, so I went ahead and did the sugar test. I have it sitting down here. We're gonna let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Right now it is 3:25, so at about 3:35, we'll go ahead and look at the tests. Basically, just once I get all of them done, we're gonna let them sit and then we'll see what happens. So for the second test, we are using the handy dandy toothpaste. Everybody should have this in their house. If not, girl, what are you doing? But anyway, we need 2 tablespoons of this toothpaste. I'm not gonna measure this in like a measuring thing, even though I have my tablespoon right here. I just feel like it's gonna be a mess to clean. So I'm just gonna like eyeball it. I'm pretty good at measurements, so I think I'll be able to figure it out with eyeballing. I did take culinary in high school, so I'm okay with eyeballing stuff. But for this one, I have my other paper plate, and my sticky note here says that if nothing happens, if the urine and the toothpaste don't like react with one another, then it's a negative. But if it is a positive, it will either foam up or it should turn blue. So I guess that's why you need the white toothpaste, because theoretically, if you had blue toothpaste, you couldn't really see it turn blue because it's already blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze this out onto this plate right here, about 2 tablespoons of this. All right, so I have my toothpaste on here. I don't know if you can see it because the plate's white and the toothpaste is white, but I think that's about 2 tablespoons. If not, it's close enough. Once again, I'm gonna go off camera to pour the urine up here. I just think it's more appropriate, and then I'll be back to do the vinegar test. Alrighty guys, so I went ahead and finished that toothpaste test. The toothpaste and the sugar are both sitting down here. So far, I don't see any reaction with either one of those, but it has only been about like 3 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and just let those sit while I do this vinegar test. So on my handy dandy little sticky note here, for the vinegar, you need 1/2 cup of vinegar. So this is a brand new bottle, so we have plenty of vinegar here. And then for a negative result, you will get no change in color. And then with a positive result, you will get a change in color. So when I mix these, I'm gonna show you guys the color of my urine and vinegar mix, so then that way you can see the beginning. And then 10 minutes from now, we will kind of compare and see if the color changes at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that now. This is a whole cup measuring cup, but I'm just gonna fill it up halfway. The 1/2 cup one is dirty and I need to do the dishes, so I'm just gonna make do with this one. I hate the smell of vinegar, it's so strong. All right, so I'm gonna put the cap back on that so we don't spill that anywhere. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in my glass here. So that's the urine vinegar mix right here. This also says that it needs to sit for about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that sit for 10 minutes off camera so I don't waste you guys' time. But I will be back in 10 minutes with the results of these tests. Honestly, so far they're not really looking too hot, but we'll give it some time. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right guys, so it's been about 10 minutes, if not like exactly 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over the results with you. I'm gonna start with the one that I did first. So that way the others still have some more time to sit. But the one we're gonna go over now is the sugar. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and then I'm gonna show you guys the results. All right, so for all of these, I kind of like split my urine up for like all 3 of them. So that also could be why some of these turned out the way they did. But this one is definitely saying that it's a negative. It was supposed to clump up if it was a positive and dissolve if it was a negative, and it's definitely dissolved. There's no salt on this plate. I mean, not salt. There's no sugar on this plate anymore. So the sugar one is definitely a flop. I would not try this one at home. it's definitely not worth it. I would definitely just go out and buy a pregnancy test. I know it's kind of handy because you have sugar around your house all the time, but it clearly was a flop. It did not work. So that's kind of like sad. I was kind of hoping that some of these would work. I thought it would be a cool video, but I mean, that's only one of the 3. So let's go ahead and hop into the toothpaste now. Alrighty, so for the toothpaste, I first just squeezed out a whole blob and kind of just put the urine on top of that, and it didn't really seem to do much. So then I got this straw because I can throw it away, and I kind of like mixed it around. This is actually kind of disgusting because I'm like playing with my urine, but if you mix it around, if you look closely, you can kind of see it foaming. It's very, very subtle, but it does foam. I was really hoping that this one would change color because I thought that would be way cooler to see like the change, but it didn't change color, and the foaming is very, very subtle. So for this one, I would say it does work because it did foam up. So that does show the positive pregnancy test, but I wouldn't recommend this one either. Honestly, like if you need to take a pregnancy test, you want to be 100% sure. So I would honestly probably just go out and buy one, but it is cool to test this and see like how it reacts and stuff like that. It's kind of like a science experiment. So this one I would say is like a 50-50. Once again, it could just be because the toothpaste I used was like the sensitive kind, but I'm not really too sure. If you guys want to try this at home and let me know what your results are, that would be super cool. But we're going to move on to the vinegar now. Alrighty, so for the vinegar, honestly, I feel like it didn't really change color, like at all, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, you can go back in the video and kind of compare the beginning color to this color, but I really think that they're actually like super similar. So like I said before, it really said that you were supposed to use white distilled vinegar, and I used apple cider. White vinegar is clearly white, and then mixed with your urine, it would probably be easier to tell the difference between the change in color, whereas this apple cider vinegar is already pretty close to the color of urine. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably an issue on my part. So as far as this one, I would say with apple cider vinegar, it definitely does not work. But with the white vinegar, it probably would work. Maybe, possibly. Don't hold me to that. But like I said, I thought this would be a really cool video to kind of try out some things around the house just to see, really just to see the outcome. I thought it would be cool. But like I said before, if you're going to take a pregnancy test, I would recommend just running to the drugstore and getting a cheap one, just because that's a really big thing. It's a really big step. So you definitely want to be 100% about the result that you get, and doing an at-home pregnancy test really is, honestly, I would say not worth the time and struggle. Like, not only do you have to wait 5 to 10 minutes, which is longer than a normal pregnancy test, but you also have to dirty up your dishes with your urine, which is kind of gross in my opinion. It's kind of why I use the disposable straw. I couldn't really get anywhere with the vinegar. I had to use a glass cup because we don't have any disposable bowls, and I didn't think a paper plate would hold that very well. But yeah, honestly, if I were you, I would just go to the store and get an actual pregnancy test. I think you'd have much better results with that. But that's going to conclude it for today's video. If you guys want to see me trying out any more household items for pregnancy, go ahead and drop those ideas down in the comments below and let me know so I can get on that for you. So that's going to do it for me today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. I really appreciate it, knowing what you like and what you don't like when I post, so that way I can know what will gain your attention and what won't. So yeah, make sure to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe so you guys can continue to see the content that I post. And I really appreciate you guys watching my video. So I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.